Welcome to another episode of Just For More Fix. This is James. With me, this actual play is Lacey, Carrie, Holly, and Taffy.
Hey. Hi. Hey.
You can find us online at justformorefix.com or on Twitter at justformorefix. If you like us, head over to iTunes or to Apple Podcasts and give us a rating and comment. In this episode, we're going to start playing Night Witches. And now, it's time to get our gaming fix. Quick warning, you guys are about to listen to us play Night Witches, a Powered by the Apocalypse game from Jason Morningstar. It's a game about Russian female fighter pilots in World War II. So there's a certain amount of mature content that comes along with that. There's death and destruction, a certain amount of grimness of war, as well as some sexism that involves the other male units and whatnot. We had a lot of fun playing this, but we wanted to make sure that you guys knew that there was some mature content that went along with this. So without any further ado...
Night Witches!
And now... I have a whole bunch of character portraits for you guys to look through and pick.
Oh, here we go.
So, character creation for this is going to work slightly differently.
Okay.
So, pick a portrait for your guys' natural-born Russian airwoman, is what they call them.
These actually look like some of the ladies that I saw in that thing.
They're, yeah.
Are these actual people?
Yeah, and then they
cool
rotoscoped them. And all the names that you guys have to choose from for your characters are actual names of the pods. Did you watch that thing?
I did. I watched 4 out of the 6.
That's so crazy. I was like, it's so good.
Yeah, I liked it because I wanted to get an idea of kind of. I didn't know anything about it.
Are both stars the same about him?
No. All right, so this is going to be Night Witches, and it is a game about I think it's the 588th Air Women's Air Corps. It is the only all-women's military unit, entirely women, from the leadership all the way down to you guys that are in the planes. Your section commanders, or section leaders, everybody are all female.
I liked that when I was watching that. I was like, that's pretty. I totally want to be this one. I like her. Bam.
So everyone will be in the planes. Everyone flies.
Aww.
But there will be...
Do you want these two?
There will be moments where you guys will have to help repair your plane and all kinds of different stuff. So it kind of encompasses the entire experience.
So even if you fly, your main focus could still be a mechanic or something.
Yeah, well, you guys will you all take part in piloting and what they call wayfinding, which is navigation. But the planes are going to get shot. They're going to need to get fixed. So there will be times where you'll have to help the mechanics to do things. But the primary your guys' primary role is being pilots and navigators.
Okay.
The other thing is these women flew 1,100 days. Consecutive days of bombing raids. The pace is crazy fast and it's crazy stressful, and they're flying crappy crop dusters in World War II, which it
is quite literally canvas soaked in a flammable substance to make it waterproof and stretched across a wood
They're made of plywood and canvas.
I saw that. I was like...
And then they shellac it.
Holy Jesus.
And it's crazy flammable. So,
and how about they look like torches flying through the air?
Yeah. So there's a high amount of lethality in the game, so don't be worried if your character dies. You become another one, and because there's this constant churning over of people. So
and then I saw
that's why you'll notice there's a lot of portraits.
Yeah. So, I saw 2 of the planes went down just in training, and I was like, God.
The other piece of it is that it is the Russian army, and they're not the best supplied. And they also supply the male bomber unit and the male fighter unit much better than they do you guys. Because that's just the way Soviet Russia works, so.
Because we're so awesome, we need less.
The girls said they ate more than they did at home, though.
Yeah, well, there's that.
They also said, men take cigarette breaks. We're not weenies. We get right back out there. I was like, yeah, that's right. Well, they didn't exactly say that, but I was like, that's cool.
They got fruit.
Mm-hmm. The other part of it is that you guys, while you're bombing regiment, you don't really bomb the same way you would think of most Air Forces bomb things. Your guys' job is actually to just be a constant nuisance to the German army so that they don't sleep well. They're not performing their best when they fight. So, you're not carpet bombing stuff. You're just doing strategic things and causing all kinds of, hell and mayhem, essentially. Not that it doesn't make it any less dangerous, especially being in a crappy airplane that, Yeah, I watched a video on YouTube of it flying, and it's like, it looks like a car driving by. It's like, wow. Well, right on, man. I guess.
And they were so loud. Like, how did they not hear them?
They said they flew straight up, cut the engine, and then
and then they would glide in
the bombs.
Oh, I must not have.
Yeah, they would kill the engine
2 documentaries
and glide in. It's really pretty badass.
Jesus.
They also don't have any lights or anything in the planes, and they're navigating at night. And so there's no instruments. They're just flying by sight and by landmarks. So it's
tubes that they talked in.
Yeah, so there's a tube that they spoke to the person back with.
Oh my god!
And there were hand signals to communicate with the other planes and stuff like that.
That's insane.
The goal is to, not be exactly 100% historically accurate, but just stay true to the theme of the whole aspect of it or whatever. So
I thought it was really awesome that it wasn't like they were drafted like they had to do this.
No, they all volunteered.
Yeah, they all wanted to do this. I thought that was pretty awesome. I was like, these are some hardcore chicks.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, just from the stuff I watched, I was like, dang, this is awesome.
Well, I was watching the part that I thought was the coolest was where they said that twice a year they all got back together, and there's these old Russian grandmas hanging out, and they've got these they've got like a vest or something on, and they've got this giant brick of ribbons from awards, and they're like dancing and having a good time or whatever. But it just looks so funny because they've got like this giant chunk,
that's fantastic.
Colin Powell, bam, Well, it's like that's pretty badass. So
hell yeah, that'd be awesome to have a grandma that was like doing all kinds of crazy shit. And
and then you'd have to live in Soviet Russia. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a toss up.
I like food. Food is cool, but. Not starving to death. And
options are nice.
Yeah. Not being on Stalin's death list is also a plus.
Yeah.
It is the early spring of 1941, and the German army invaded Russia, obviously, and then their invasion stalled with winter coming. Winter happens as it comes, as we all know.
Pussies.
And it wasn't like a regular winter, it was the Russian winter, so it was really bad. And the German invasion stalled, and then spring comes, and Russia pushes back and starts to push the Germans back out of Russia. However, the Russian pushback stalls because of rains in the spring, and it gets soggy, and it's hard to keep an invasion force on the move when roads are flooded and marshy and boggy and whatnot. So you guys arrive at, I'm going to butcher a lot of these Russian names because I'm not Russian, but you guys arrive at Saratov. It's a Russian city in western Russia, and the streets are dark and they are filled with soldiers that are kind of coming and going everywhere. But you guys are still civilians, wearing your best clothes to come here to begin your training and enlist. So there's patriotic marches going on for the 24th anniversary of the Red Army. There's speeches overhead from Comrade Stalin and Marshal Zhukov, saying that the day is not far distant when the Red Army will thrust back the brutal enemy. There's red banners will fly again victoriously over the entirety of the Soviet land. So you guys have a transit voucher in your hands that you were given to get here, and you see that there is a ferry that will take you guys across the Volga River with 100 or so hopeful, enthusiastic, nervous-looking men and women that are here to enlist and go through their version of basic training, essentially.
Can I interject for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of us who are not up on our history, the Germans are like how far into Russia?
They make it almost to Moscow.
Okay.
And then they stall before they get to Moscow, and then they get pushed back. But they never actually make it to Moscow, but there is some real fear that they might at one point.
Because the original reason they're there is because they're going to go invade Russia, and then they decide they're going to get oil. Yeah. But then they decide they can't leave Stalingrad behind them because it's a big city, and it's named after Stalin. And
It used to be Leningrad. It's very important, like to the Russian psyche. It's also a giant port as well.
Huge, and it's right on a rail line.
Mm-hmm. So it's strategically it's very, very important. So they kind of go back for that.
Right. I just wanted to know how serious it is thus far.
It's not good. This is when the Russians start to turn things kind of back, but it's still not good at all.
Lost a lot of farmland. They're destroying it as they take it.
Okay, so as you guys are standing there, you see one woman in the crowd. She is dressed in a splendid uniform. She's got blue shoulder boards on, which, I mean, you guys don't really quite know what that means yet, but she also has a medal pinned to her chest. So she's got some kind of rank and some kind of commendation going on. She looks confident, and she looks like she knows where she's going. You guys will board the ferry to make your way across. And this is where we will pick playbooks. The way Apocalypse World works is instead of having classes, they have like roles, okay? And this is to prevent everyone from playing the same kind of character, okay? So there's 5 of them to choose from. There is... Character creation, this is super easy. There is the Hawk. Hawks are decisive and tough, simultaneously showy and precise in their actions. They're obsessive hunters who strike without warning. There is the Owl, who is quiet, observant. Owls are among the most contemplative of birds. Unlike hawks, they are happy to watch and wait. Owls are solitary predators and feast on the bones of the weak. There is the Pigeon, and pigeons are gregarious and not afraid to get their feathers dirty. Resourceful and down-to-earth, they are also vaguely ridiculous and most comfortable in a crowd. Ravens are the most intelligent and courteous and confident. Unlike sparrows, they aren't afraid to make a scene. They're also carrion birds with a stubborn disregard for propriety. Sparrows, last one, they are graceful, unobtrusive, and discreet. Sparrows tend to be everywhere or nowhere. They're also nervous and prone to flying away at the first sign of trouble. Those are the 5 kind of archetypes, but like I said, you guys will still all be pilots, or all be navigators and wayfinders. You'll notice that there are 4 of them, 5 of them, I'm sorry, and there are 4 of you. So when one of you guys dies, you will pick up the role of the other one, and it will kind of go this rotation through. Each of them have their own different moves that they have access to and different things, but they're all thematically around those things.
Grab one.
Would like to use the Pigeon?
It's totally my jam.
I'm between the Raven
Greasy.
and the Hawk. I don't want the Sparrow.
Do you know what the Owl?
Yeah. Do you want it?
No, I'm okay. Okay.
Oh, you're making it hard now.
Did you want to be the Pigeon?
No, I wanted to be the Raven or the Hawk.
Okay. I think you're totally the Raven.
Pick one of the names off of there, and then below that is your look and background, and go ahead and make the choices there if you want.
We're supposed to pick a rank.
So you can pick it now. You won't have it, but you can either be a sergeant or a junior lieutenant. Those are the only 2 you can pick.
Man, I really wanted to play a guy in this.
Tough balls.
Some of them look androgynous.
There's only one that has that. Up here, you can choose your rank as sergeant or junior lieutenant, and then that will dictate what stat block you get to pick. And then medals will start at 0, and then after that, you get to put those 3 in any of the 3 boxes you want.
Do we choose move or a roll?
Yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and choose a move and a roll, just go ahead and it's got
Just one?
It's got instructions on there. So move and roll, you choose. Regard doesn't get anything, and there's nothing to do on the back yet.
It says add moves when directed by advancement.
Mm-hmm.
No, it says choose one.
No, it
Oh.
Roll says
Oh,
choose
okay.
one.
Fair enough. Very good.
So just choose a roll?
Just choose a roll.
When you eyeball, you may also ask, is there evidence of violation of Articles 58 and 133?
Those are like the one of them has to do with not supporting the Soviet cause, and then the other one is sort of like Article 13, like in the military, being a traitor, political dissident,
Wow.
all that kind of stuff. So some of them are kind of political because you can kind of cast out and
Throw some shade.
yeah. If you see the NKVD mentioned on your character sheets anywhere, that is what becomes the KGB. They're like a political police.
Do we do anything on the back, did you say?
No, there's nothing
okay.
on there in the back yet, so.
Okay.
I'm about as laid back as it gets, so it's not like you will play this game right now. I don't care. As long as we have a good time, it's all that matters to me.
I'm gonna eyeball you.
Oh,
You've been all night.
Yeah.
Galina. Oh, you had to pick the longest last name.
Right?
Bashev.
It's weird. I don't know how to... yeah, I don't know. I like the first one. It was cool.
back yet.
So I was like, I want to be Galina.
It looks like there's a lot going on, but this system is really, really, really simple.
Okay.
Don't be intimidated by
I was
it.
going to play Valentina because I like that name.
Valentina. I like that name. I was going to play...
That's my grandpa's
Miriam.
name is Valentine, or was Valentine.
Oh, yeah?
All right, so you guys board this ferry, and it lurches to life and starts to begin to cross the Volga River, which is a pretty substantial river. It's a good-sized river. And the ferry it's pretty full of people, both men and women, but you guys are kind of on the ferry as it's moving across, feeling anxious and nervous, and you guys will see that the woman in the nice uniform, the nice pressed uniform with the blue shoulder boards again standing there at one of the rails as she's looking across the river as you guys are heading towards where the military bases are.
Is everyone on the ferry joining the military?
Essentially, yeah.
Is that Marina?
Huh?
Is that Marina?
Do you know her?
I know of her. She's a hero.
Okay, no, it is not Marina.
Okay.
No. Good call, though, but no.
Okay. She's just a hero. She flew the longest.
True that. Very good. Plus 10 cool points to you.
This don't sell for anything.
Sure.
Also, they got low street cred coming from you.
I'm gonna look around and see who else I see.
It is a who's who of Russian people, essentially, that are here, both, like I said, men and women. Some better dressed, some not so well dressed. Some that you can tell have not been fed well for a long time. And some who have. People come from all over Russia to come here to begin their training to go for the war effort. So,
are there any men already in uniform?
Oh, yeah. No, not any men already in uniform. No.
Oh, well.
One can try, right? Soon enough.
Are you joining?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Moscow. I went to the university there. You?
I'm joining too. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be an adventure.
Hello.
Hi.
What's your name?
Farah. Just Farah.
Just Farah. I'm Galia. Nice to meet you.
Yulia.
Galia.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. I am Daria. Everyone calls me Dasha.
It's a nice name.
Thank you.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from Bratsk.
I'm from Moscow as well.
I just went to the university. I'm not familiar with the city.
So where are you originally from?
Vyazma?
Did you drop out of university to come here?
I haven't told my parents.
That's probably not something that they will like.
I need to do this for my country.
I agree.
And I'll never have this opportunity again. School will still be there when the war's over.
Yes.
I hope.
If it's not
They'll never
destroyed.
Moscow.
I heard they were getting close.
Not when I'm in the military.
I hope you're right. My grandfather is still home.
I hear they'll pay our postage when we write home.
Really?
Did they really? Okay. Well, you spouted off a name, and I was like, oh, Carrie knows.
I know who Mariana is. She's in the video. But the postage thing I'm making up is like a rumor that I heard.
Sounds good.
Well, that's good. We've all got people to write to at home.
My sister.
I'm not going to write to my parents.
You're not?
They cannot know what I'm doing.
Does somebody know that you are here?
You guys.
Well, I mean, someone in your family to let your parents know if something happens.
No.
Maybe you should write one letter and send it if something happens.
No, I'll be dead. There'll be no need to send it.
But if they go to the university expecting to see you,
They can't afford to leave home.
that's unfortunate.
Someone should inform your family if you die. It will bring great honor to your name.
That is true.
The military will.
Will they?
Of course.
Do they?
But I won't die.
Of course not.
None of us will. We're going to save the country.
That's right. Kill many Germans.
Yes.
Fascist pigs.
I'll write back to Boris.
Who's Boris? Is that your boyfriend?
No, he's a professor at the...
Was he also your boyfriend?
No.
Oh. Was he married?
No.
Oh.
He could be your boyfriend when you leave.
Or when I come back.
You'll win great glory and return
How
to
could
be
he
a
tell
hero.
me no? I'd be a hero.
So, as you guys are having this conversation, and it's pretty idealistic in terms of being newly enlisted and whatnot, the woman in the fine uniform, you guys will notice that she takes notice of you guys as you're having this conversation. And she kind of smiles a little bit. She has some lines on her face, of worry. It seems like you have the feeling that she's been at war for a while. She's seen some things and some hardships and whatnot. She kind of has, you guys kind of get the impression as she looks at you that reminiscing of times in the past, perhaps when she first signed up and had the same youthful idealism of envision of war that you guys now have. She walks up to you guys. She asks the group of you to no one in particular, but she says, "Well, what are you guys signed up here to do?"
I'm going to be a pilot.
I kind of like to work on things. I think I can fix anything that breaks down.
I think I want to be a pilot, but I also think I've read many, many books, and I feel like with my knowledge, I'd be a really good public speaker.
I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna see Russia as God sees Russia.
It's amazing.
She sort of shakes her head. With a little bit of luck and a lot of hard work, hopefully we'll all be able to live in the Russia that we all know and want to love. My name is Captain Evgenia Lobodeva. She says, I'm a captain with the 588th Night Bomber Regiment, which sounds like where you ladies are headed. She says, the 588th is one of 3 regiments being formed by Major Marina Breskova.
She's my hero.
She's a lot of people's heroes.
Yes.
So you guys will all heard the name. Yes. She is... Carrie, you can go ahead and tell the story.
I heard of her famous run on the radio.
Yes.
Thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Longest distance ever. And she's beautiful, and Stalin listens to her.
Because she's smart. She knows what she's doing.
She's the reason we're here today.
She says, well, it's a good sign that she is founding these regiments. It fills a lot of people with pride to do their very best. Our job, though, is going to be the most difficult and the most dangerous, even more difficult than what the men are going to be doing. We're going to be doing night raids and bombing and night harassment on the German army. She says, I'm glad to see you guys new recruits. It's good to have new faces. But like I said, it's going to be difficult, and we're going to be in outdated biplanes. But we'll use the cover of darkness, our cleverness and guile, to beat back the Hitlerite dogs.
I hear Stalin give us those planes because they fly and land the best, and he wants to take care of us.
All I know is I will obliterate those fascists in any plane they give me. Whether it has an engine or not is irrelevant.
She says, Comrade Stalin has great confidence in us, and he's given us great tools to beat back the Germans. But he knows that the situation isn't good. You know, the winter stopped the Germans.
The winter stops no Russians.
Sorry, it's just winter here. It's not actually a Russian winter. It's just our winter. She says that the Germans, they made it to 50 miles within Moscow before winter stopped them. Winter and the Russian army stopped them, and we began pushing them back. But spring has come.
Russia, she fights for winter too.
That's right.
And now things are uncertain. And
winter fights for Russia.
Yes.
By the sound of things, me and all of you plan to change that.
Yes, of course. That's why we are all here.
So at this point, she finishes that kind of like little bit of, like rousing hurrah. This is an officer, and she has half a clue what the fuck is going on. You feel the ferry bump against the dock on the other side of the river. You guys make it across, and the Ingalls Airdrome, which is where you guys are headed, is about 4 kilometers away. There's a truck waiting for Captain Lobodeva. She hops off, and she hops in a truck full of soldiers that are all in uniform. And you guys are told to walk. So hopefully you wore sensible shoes. That's actually exactly what it says, sensible shoes, which is kind of a weird thing to say.
We're strong women. Right. Of course we wore
I did not.
sensible
shoes.
I wore my nicest outfit.
I don't even have shoes. I walk barefoot. In the snow, 5 miles above this.
I'm wearing a slight heel so that
Who?
my stash
The captain?
It's Captain Lobodeva, Lobodeva. You guys see lots of airplanes flying overhead. There's the sleek, there's a whole list of them, PE-2 bombers. They're shining in the sunlight, stubby and aggressive looking. These Yak-1 planes, these are Russian planes that they're flying. One is a bomber and one is a fighter plane. But these are the planes that the male regiments fly. And they're sleek
one of those.
and modern looking.
And look awesome.
And shiny and cool and look like they come to bring death upon the Germans, right? And then you will see the old PO-2 biplane go by. And it is a biplane. It looks sort of like a crop duster, more or less, is what they actually look like. And they have a regular old propeller on the front of it. Got that as it goes flying by. They say they actually sound like sewing machines. I saw one. I listened to one fly and watched it. It didn't sound like a sewing machine to me, but I suppose if it's next to like a real serious plane, it probably sounds like a sewing machine in comparison.
I bet that's what they teach us to
whoever
fly
has
on.
to fly that piece of shit.
I bet that's the education one.
Could be. We're going to get that really big plane right there.
As you see them fly by, they look ridiculously out of place.
I bet that one can hold like 5 bombs.
I'm going to cheer.
They're tiny engines. Like I said, it sounds like a sewing machine. It's sort of like if you see like a Ferrari and a Lamborghini and a Pinto. It's kind of, just one of these things is not like the other. It's one of those kind of moments. But there are hundreds of planes flying around, landing, coming and going. You guys walk the 4 kilometers. It takes a little while. But eventually you finally arrive at the Ingalls Airdrome. Footsore in Hungary, you see it is very big and very busy. There's a lot of going on. There's trucks coming, going, dropping off soldiers, crates being unloaded out of trucks with supplies, and all kinds of stuff. You see also the planes taking off and landing here. So as you guys reach the main gate, it's called Ingalls Airdrome.
Is Ingalls a person, or is that like
Ingalls is German for angels, but I'm not sure why it's called that in Russian. So the 4th Air Army military policemen are there at a gate at the airdrome as you guys arrive. And with vouchers in hand, there's a line of people that they go through their papers, Papers. They look them over, look at you. And they tell each of you to report to Sergeant Kateva in the Logistics Area 6. And you will be requesting uniforms, boots, rations, and directions to the 588th Training Barracks. They say, repeat that list to me.
Sergeant Katrina, 588th Airborne Training Base.
Yeah.
We need to get our supplies.
Yes.
All right.
You said Katrina?
Sergeant Katrina. Katira.
Kateva.
Teva. Oh, that's a V.
How do you spell that?
I will rattle off my list.
K-A-T-A-E-V-A. As you guys kind of stumble through it, he kind of rolls his eyes at you like, oh, Jesus. Fucking women soldiers.
I will finish my list with a wink.
All right.
And a smile.
He raises an eyebrow at you. There's a lot of fucking asshole dudes, especially at the beginning of the war. They really look at you guys like you're a fucking joke. Now,
like, what are these women doing?
Yeah, it's exactly.
Get out. This is man's work.
Yeah. Well, especially the male pilots are like, you're not even flying real fucking planes. But as time goes by and stories come out and they're like, oh, holy shit, these are some bad bitches. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those kind of moments. The arrogance and like, what the fuck are they? There's real soldiers behind these women that I'm here to check in. That's a lot of that kind of oozes off of him. He gives you some vague directions, kind of like over there, a ways, there's a building, go around behind it, there's another building, and then that's where you're going to find the sergeant.
Thank you, sir.
And he sends you on the way and takes the next person's papers. Much the same for all four of you.
I'm ignoring anything like that. I look starry-eyed like, hell yeah, I'm here to do some work.
Right on.
I'm going to glance over my shoulder and saunter away.
You'll see he takes notice of you as you walk away. He looks back at you. Yeah.
That's what I got that you don't, sucker.
So you guys, more or less, it takes you a little while, but you find this Logistics Area 6 that he mentioned. He very clearly, he gave you shitty directions. Maybe on purpose, maybe not, whatever. But you guys eventually find it. And as you guys arrive...
Men are always terrible at directions.
True
story. Find their ass with 2 hands.
You see that there is a woman there in a uniform.
You're open.
And she is dressing down some private. I mean, she is reading this Private the Riot Act. Just fucking tearing her up one ass and down the other, right? You don't know what she fucking did.
Uh-oh.
But it's one of those sort of like Full Metal Jacket moments. Do you know what I'm saying? Where just fucking eating her ass, man. Just tearing her apart. As you guys stand there. And she finishes and looks over at you guys.
I will stand up straight and look like
on your best behavior.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sergeant Kadeva, here to report for training.
She says, I'm Masha Kadeva, or Sergeant Masha Kadeva. You can call me Sergeant Kadeva. Who the fuck are you? She look at you.
Galinia.
Scratch that. I've seen your type come and go. You'll be down in fucking flames in a fortnight. I don't even need to know. What do you want?
No disrespect, but I'm not going down in flames. I'm here to fight.
We'll see. What do you want?
My orders.
And uniforms.
And supplies.
And a bunk.
And training.
And a plane.
All right.
Yeah, plane.
She sighs. She says, let me make one thing perfectly clear to you skinny bitches. I'm not your mother. I don't have any boots or any fucking field rations, so go choke yourselves.
Is that in order?
She looks at you and she says, are you fucking serious?
Are you?
No, don't choke yourself. I swear to, if you die here, it'll be a year's worth of paperwork for me, and I'll have the NKVD up my ass for why some stupid green-eyed private died here on my fucking logistics area.
I didn't know the military was such an emotional place.
She says, let me show you what I have for you guys to fucking pick from. I've got some nice men's uniforms that won't fit. I've got some goddamn shoes that are way too big for your feet. I've got a goddamn airplane in a packing crate and no time to assemble it, and we've got an endless supply of shovels for no goddamn reason.
So we can shovel the shit Germans out of here.
Uniform that won't fit, some shoes that don't fit, and that box.
Alright, so she piles the uniforms up in your guys' arms. She says, if you guys ask me for anything else, I will literally shit on your mother.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't have one, so good job. I only have a grandfather.
Can we put the plane together?
No. Do you want it to fly?
Yes.
Then no.
I can put the plane together.
Same.
I could probably put my clothes on. Choke myself.
She says, before I find you, I don't know what suka means in Russian, but I'm assuming it's like something not good. That's a word that comes up pretty consistently.
Suka? How do you spell it?
Suka. I'm guessing it's like some slur word for a woman in a not nice way, I'm guessing. So she says, before I find you, like you Sukas, any nice lady boots. Lady boots. That's a great word. I think I'll focus on acquiring a couple more engines and shit that doesn't break on these fuckers. She says, I could go on, but I don't have time for that. She gives you guys your stuff. She says, go see Senior Lieutenant Petrova. Ask her in the, you'll find her in the 588th barracks. And just keep walking that way until you see a shitty place that no decent woman in her right mind would call home.
Is that home?
Yes.
That was already there. Onward.
As you guys walk past some of the hangars.
Guys, my shirt is a size extra large.
My boots are 42.
Yeah, I don't think any of this is going to fit, right?
I'm really tall, so I have confidence that I will be fine.
I know how to sew.
Can you take these in?
Maybe.
It doesn't help with the shoes.
Perhaps we can take what you take in and stuff them in the boots. And they'll be more comfortable.
Cut the boots in half.
Can you turn these boots into some sandals?
So you head over to the barracks, and as you pass some of the hangars that are full of the male bomber and fighter unit, you guys suffer through some cat calls and some whistling as you walk by.
Derogatory gestures back.
Something about their mother.
Right.
Or maybe since we're women, we make jokes about their father.
And when you guys finally get over there, there's a woman no older than you that's waiting for you guys.
And that's Senior Lieutenant Petrova?
Yes. She says, I'm Senior Lieutenant Petrova.
Galia, reporting for duty.
Yulia.
She says, where are you from?
Here and there.
Anyway.
Stalingrad, I guess. Most recently.
A wanderer, then?
You could say that.
Well, hopefully you'll find a place that you can call home here. She'll walk you guys over to a barracks area. She'll go and take you guys inside. It's a small, meager barracks area. There's a cot for each of you guys with a footlocker. And she tells you guys that this will be your new place to sleep and call home for the time being. However, you won't get much rest here. There's a lot of work to be done. She says we'll be dividing you guys into pilots and navigators based on your aptitude, but both will be qualified to be in either seat. Pilots in front, navigators in back. Our planes are simple. Fuel and oil are gravity fed, so they don't fly upside down. They're air cooled, no oil filter, just a mesh screen, open cockpits. Lots of stuff can go wrong. Flying at night is strange and one of the most difficult things your guys are ever going to do. Memorize your cockpit layout. Down to your left, the throttle, fuel mix lever, fuel cutoff switch, carburetor heat, and elevator trim, left dash switch bank, pilot heat, master battery, panel lights, 2 magneto switches, gauges, fuel, altitude, airspeed, heading altitude, climbing rate, engine RPM, oil pressure and temperature, fuel pressure gauge, and cylinder temperature. I read that and I was like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of shit on this fucking thing to be able to figure out.
There would be that many buttons.
In the middle of the fucking night with no light and fucking German anti-aircraft guns shooting at you. So I was like, God damn, that's fucking ridiculous.
Learn it or die.
Yeah. So she says, I've reviewed each of your files, and you're quite a mixed bag. She says, make yourselves at home for right now, put on your uniforms, and yeah, she'll let you guys go about your business for a few minutes. As you guys get dressed, she will just kind of walk around and ask each of you guys a couple questions. So, I think we'll just go around the table here. Vera, what did you lie about on your regimental intake form? These are just things that will create drama as the game goes by. So one thing about Apocalypse World is things just tend to get more and more complicated. You'll succeed, but with a cost usually is how it generally works. So you'll get what you want, but things just continue to get more and more complicated as things go by. It's not a hard yes or no like in D&D or whatever. So what did you lie about on your intake form there, Vera? Or do you want me to come back around?
No, I have 2 ideas. I just don't know which one would be better.
Pick the one you like more.
Age.
Oh, okay. So how are you lied too old or too young?
I am too young to be.
Very good.
I am 16. I was going to the university a little older or at a younger age because my parents are pretty wealthy and they pushed me through it. And I said that I was 18 on my paperwork.
Okay, very good. Do you look exceptionally young, or
no?
Do you look like an 18-year-old? Like,
I look mature.
Okay. Galia, why did you want to join the 586th Fighter Regiment so badly? So you wanted to join the 586th Fighter Regiment, but you're here at the Bomber Regiment.
Well, I wanted to kill Germans and take Russia back for the motherland.
Okay. Dasha, who do you know in occupied territory, silent since 1941, the Germans invaded?
Well, my grandfather and I live outside of Moscow together. He's the only family I have. And the Germans got pretty close. They were on the edge of our farmland. And I can't allow that. So here I am.
Yulia, this is pretty awful. Whose funeral did you miss by volunteering for flight training?
My sister's.
What's your sister's name?
Natalia.
Senior Lieutenant Petrova, she seems pretty, trying to put you guys at ease and pretty friendly towards you guys, okay? So she has conversations with you guys, which is how this stuff kind of just generally comes up. And then you guys finish changing, she finishes your conversations, and then she says that the Major is waiting for you guys out on the flight line, and you guys should file out there to meet her.
Wait, was that like actual questions you were being asked?
Here you go.
Because I would not have answered that I lied about
Right.
I think
age.
I finally know.
I would have
Still
kept that a
stuff.
secret.
That's fair. That's
I would
fine.
have said nothing.
You guys file out there. There's the planes lined up in formation, the P-02s, or PO2s. They're on the flight line. Each, it says, fragile aircraft is lovingly tended to by a pair of mechanic armorers. Senior Lieutenant Petrova tells you guys to line up and salutes an older, stern-looking woman with gold shoulder boards, who is the Major.
The armorers are the ones that load the bombs.
Yeah, and the mechanics are the ones that maintain the plane. Loading bombs is kind of terrifying because they just literally carry them out. Yeah.
How do you attach a bomb to a canvas plane?
It takes 3 people for a 100-kilo bomb and 2 for less than 100.
Is there like a string you pull or something?
And
No,
because
there's
of
a
the weight
lever that
limit-
you pull that has, it's sort of like a clamp, and it's
Oh,
got
okay.
a clamping mechanism, and then you pull a lever, and then it would open up and let it go. And then it would
Oh,
fall.
okay. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
There's 2 reasons why we don't have parachutes when we're on these. One of them is that they weigh more, so we can fit less bombs, so they're just not worth it. And the other one is we fly so low to the ground at such a low speed, the parachute would not open in time before we went.
Lovely.
The bombs must load on the bottom of the plane.
Yes.
The bottom of the wings.
The
On the
bottom
wings?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's even worse. That's even harder to
There's
There's
fly.
some
Drop them
under the
both at the
base,
same
and then there's
time.
some under
Yeah,
the wings.
under the wings.
100 kilos.
I
That's 220
believe-
pounds on
yeah.
a tiny
But-
plane. You'd be like,
The flare that we drop has a parachute, so it goes down slower, so we can see where we're dropping our bomb at.
Yeah. Hooray for Soviet engineering and
Just to make
strategy.
sure that we're at the right spot, and the
Yeah.
bomb is hitting the right spot.
Next to her, she stands there, and next to her is Captain Lobodeva. She's a stern-looking woman, and the Major has gold shoulder boards. I'm probably not going to learn all these, so I don't know. You don't have to worry about it. I'm not going to give you a person's shoulder board and ask you what rank they are, if that makes a difference. Do you know what I'm saying?
just curious.
Yeah. So next to her is Captain Lobodeva, who you guys met on the ferry. Hers were blue, and she is her chief of staff. And there's several other officers as the Major stands there and looks you guys over.
Look at this. Done and done.
So she says, comrades, welcome to the regiment. She says she is Major Yevdokia Bereshanskaya. She says, I am your guys' commander. She says, I expect you to comport yourselves at all times like natural-born Soviet airwomen. And she says, we fly these, as she gestures towards the biplanes.
Aya.
Huh?
Aya.
Aya? Where?
Aya.
Oh, yeah, my bad. The Polykarpov P-02 LNB. It's a simple 2-seat canvas and wood biplane. It has been determined to be ideal for our mission by the great operational minds of the 4th Army Air Force. We are certainly not going to doubt their wisdom in this manner. Let's talk about our mission, shall we?
Does her face look doubtful when she says that?
Oh, a little bit sarcastic, you think. You know, she's kind of like, are you fucking serious? But at the same time, they do the job well enough, if that makes sense. So she has all you guys stand up, and she delivers you guys to swear the oath. And I'm just going to read this to you guys, because it's just so you kind of know what's expected of you guys. I state your name.
I, Vera,
Julia Salenkova.
Yergova.
Well done.
Promise to rise to the defense of my motherland, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Oh, I didn't know
promise
that's
to
what it
rise
said.
to my motherland, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
As a fighting woman of the Workers' and Peasants' Red Army.
As a fighting woman of the Workers and Peasants Red Army.
I promise to defend it bravely, skillfully, and with dignity and honor.
I promise to defend it
bravely, skillfully, and with honor.
With honor.
Sparing neither my blood nor my life itself,
sparing neither my blood nor my life itself.
For the achievement of total victory over our enemies.
For the achievement of total victory over our enemies.
There you go. So she dismisses you guys, and Captain Lobodeva congratulates you guys, pointing the way to the mess tent. Finally get some food from the busy morning.
Starving.
And she tells you the classroom instruction begins tomorrow at dusk in classroom F. Okay.
Right, what's for lunch?
So the food here is actually pretty good because the war going on. Supplies are pretty scant for civilians, but you're in an area that's pretty well supplied in terms of, the Red Army and whatever. Ingalls Aerodrome is the major center for flight training, buzzing at all hours with fighters and bomber transports, where you guys learn to handle your aircraft, and you begin to earn your wings in the front and back seat of the PO2s. Support here is ubiquitous and resources are abundant, so you guys will get a +1 on scrounge and repair rolls because you're well equipped while at the Ingalls Aerodrome. So, real quick, as a group, which officer, which I guess is you guys are actually all officers because you're all pilots, which one of you guys actually arrived already homesick?
Me.
You?
Yeah.
Very good. It's Gallia, right?
Yes.
Homesick. How are you guys dealing with the minor sabotage of your planes by the male ground crews?
By secretly stealing supplies from them.
They sabotaged our planes? What the hell? We're on the same side, jackass.
And more importantly, have you met a soldier?
I stole cigarettes.
What?
I stole their cigarettes.
Stole cigarettes? Okay.
And then sold them back to him. For food rations.
No, I smoked them in front of them.
They can...
Okay, so there are 6 duty stations that we will play through as this game goes along, okay? And this is the first one. So it has you guys draw the way the thing is laid out first. So it says to... How is the Ingalls Aerodrome laid out? Where are the barracks, the flight line, the hangars, the classrooms, the supply depot, command building, and control tower? So this is actually for you guys to actually draw it. And there has to be one thing that is an unusual feature that makes the auxiliary field difficult to fly out of.
That would be our field and their field, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that means?
Correct. So, oops, I didn't mean to throw at anybody in particular. But whoever wants to draw... The idea is that as things go on and things might get more complicated, I don't think a whole lot happens at this one, but at the other ones where the Germans actually blow you guys up and do bad stuff, there is some potential for complications.
Control tower is right.
Maybe there's like a crashed airplane.
Who is a sergeant?
Me.
And who is junior lieutenant? Oh, sweet. Good job. Pass it around.
Okay.
Feel free.
Everybody can draw something.
There's no right or wrong way.
We'll all draw one thing. It'll be like... What's that game?
Control tower.
Yeah. I figured it would be kind of like next to runways, but like on the edge of the actually, like obviously would be right in the middle of.
So while they're going through that, I gave you guys a move sheet, right? Yeah. The way this works is there is a day cycle and a night cycle for this game, right?
So the flight line.
So during the night is when you guys are blowing shit up, basically, and attacking the Germans, right? And those are the moves and how you go about doing that. The day cycle is when you rest, recover. Do whatever personal business or regimental business you guys have, and just whatever normal, regular life trouble and drama you have or whatever.
And that's what makes it difficult. It's so short. But at night, we can look on to the city, and we kind of sit here, and sometimes we smoke a cigarette. This is where we hang out at night, and this is our flight line. It's super short, and it's off a cliff, so if you F it up, you fall down.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what makes it difficult.
But we can see Saratova down below, and it's beautiful.
Right on. It's an inspiring...
And it's okay, because our planes don't need as long of a flight line.
Right, they don't.
That's part of the reason they're so good.
Yeah, I saw that they can take off and from anywhere
almost
and land
anywhere. Yeah.
almost anywhere.
Yep.
Where are the hangars?
So for our planes, they should probably be down here closer to where we would take off.
They should be relatively close to the flight line. Okay. Unless there's some crappy place they put them in, like, why the hell did they put them so far away? Yeah. That's entirely possible, too.
It's where all the planes are, basically.
So you guys are actually kept pretty well segregated from the men. Mm-hmm. They really, really... You guys will know as training goes on that if you get caught with the men or in the men's areas, a lot of times you guys will be in trouble. Mm-hmm. Unless you have special permission by somebody important or whatever. They just know... they know what happens when men and women fraternize.
You can't be driving a plane pregnant.
Very good.
Did your paperwork give you a picture of that dashboard, or does it just tell you all the stuff you supposed to know?
No, it just told me this is there's an introductory thing, and to be honest, I don't care for reading box text to people, but it's to set the tone of several NPCs, and I don't know who these people are historically, so I was like, I want to kind of get it right. And that one bit about the thing was word for, I was like, holy fuck! I read that, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me! Like, there's a lot of knobs and buttons there. So
that sounds exhausting.
That's what I said. I was like, God, these are some fucking crazy ass women.
And you can't see anything.
Yeah, I know. Like, all right, so I think that's the second one. Oh, I just shut the engine off. My bad. Turn it back on. You know.
I feel like they should make us train like with blindfolds on to learn all of our knobs. And
well, you guys fly like the training missions are done at night.
Oh, the training itself.
We meet
too?
at dusk. Our first training.
Yeah, that's
we have
right.
to report at dusk for our first class.
I get to throw this basically away. So there's a classroom portion here that I don't really want to go through, but you're going to meet. The important part is these command people you will meet again. Okay, so there are two other people that are kind of important, and there is Captain Olga Barsukova and her deputy lieutenant Svetlana, and I'm not even going to attempt this name. But the important thing is that they are the NKVD officers that are part of your guys' regiment. So they are permanently here, and they don't really exist inside your guys' command structure because they're part of the political police, basically. Does that make sense? So even if your major says, you know, this is a good pilot or whatever, if you go wrong with the NKVD officers, they can have you imprisoned. They can have you, like, in a regular prison and sent to Siberia. They can have you sent to hard forced labor camps, all the way up to and including, like, execution. So just
you said
for what that's worth.
You said kind of like military police or
yeah,
like
they're political police. They're commissars. So they make sure that you're doing your job as soldiers.
And good Russian people. They
make sure that you're good natural-born Soviet Russian airwomen.
Straight.
They make sure that, yes, you are straight. They also make sure that you're not fraternizing with the men. They are the overseers of behavior, essentially, right?
Babysitters.
In a terrible, horrible, executing kind of way, yes.
So, you screw up, you get executed.
They, like I said, they can send you to a prison in Siberia. They can send you to a forced labor camp for a year. They could send you to be executed if they wanted to.
Stalin kills more Russian citizens than Hitler kills Jews.
Yeah.
Or people, period.
People just don't talk about it.
They lost a shitload they lost more than anybody else, though.
Yeah,
Russia did.
Like, there is even an inkling of a thought that you may have been considering treason. Done. Dead.
Yeah.
And they can't prove how many people died because they don't
keep track. The Russians were just like, there's just a different value on things. And they just
you looked at an officer questionably.
Killed people and threw them away.
You're going to work camps. If you died at the work camp,
Yulia, you are the section leader of this group. Because you are the most ranking person. You're the junior lieutenant right now. Now, as the game progresses, people can advance rank and all this kind of stuff, so that may change as time goes by. She might die. She might fuck up so bad that she...
gets the boot. She goes to Siberia.
Exactly. So, who knows? Each plane needs a tail number, and they can be anything from 001 to 200. But they can't be just the number 1. It has to be 001. Do you know what I'm saying? So the best part about being the ranking officer is you get to assign people jobs and planes. So as time goes by and planes take damage, or this one, we just know this one's a turd and it runs like shit, because that will eventually happen. The ranking officer gets to say, you're in this plane, you're the pilot, you're the navigator, whatever. And these are the missions that we're going to go do.
Are we assigning people now?
Yes, so we are going to do our first training mission. It starts off with our first training mission, and then we're going to go right into that. And
but who's a pilot and who's a navigator?
Everyone for the training mission has to be a pilot and also be a navigator to graduate.
On the way back, you also pilot.
Right, but I'm assigning them to a place.
Ask. They are your section.
Navigator, please. Dasha.
I'll be a pilot.
All right, so...
Good for anything. I can read a map, and I can fly high. Make me fly. Or navigate. Good boss.
So this is also my first time running this, and so I may be stumbling through the first part of this a little bit as we do things, but it'll get smoother as we go along.
Who's your navigator?
Olya.
Navigator?
Katya.
Is the nickname for the plane?
Yes.
Galia, what's your plane's name?
Pask. No, that's not the name of it.
Pask.
Give me
Don't get that one. It sucks.
What's the name of your plane?
Doesn't even have a name.
What was the one for bitch?
Huh?
What's the one?
Suka.
Suka.
Suka. What's its personality?
That's the one that no one wants to be in.
Bitch.
Hey, what was my navigator's name?
You have to push the ignite like 4
is there a
times to get it
navigator
to go.
Olya something.
Olya.
O-L. Is that
I'm not- don't worry about last
Y-A?
names. Olya, yes.
Okay.
It is a bitch. I mean, I clicked the thing 4 times before it ignited.
What's the name of
4.
your plane, Dasha?
Hang on a second.
I'm just looking
giggled
up, like,
when
fun
the
slang.
documentary said that the girls will be girls, and sometimes they brought kittens on board with them.
Did you see the lady flying a plane with a kitten?
With a
in the-
cat?
yeah, she's got a kitten in the cockpit with her during one of the missions.
Girls will be girls.
And I thought, have you ever tried to put a cat in one of those kennel things? I cannot imagine being in an airplane. Bombs
like-
going off, and you're like, oh, hey, how's it going, kitty cat? Oh, shit. You know?
Wow. Why?
Unless cats were way more docile in 1940 Russia.
I mean, if you're in the middle of a plane, it's going, you're like, it's a kitten. You're just like,
stick it in your pocket.
Yakovleviak.
Tibrit.
Fire bar.
Mine is Tibrit. It means to steal. We're gonna steal our
Tibric.
country back.
Oh, you're actually giving them Russian names?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
That's
I
okay.
looked up like a slang to steal. I just thought it was cool.
Personality of the plane?
Quiet. It's maybe the engine's a little quieter.
Runs nice
That's
and
good.
smooth.
Fish head.
That's right.
Right on. I think it's a cool thing to do
Did
to
you say
give.
fish head?
Fish bed.
Oh.
What?
that's what they call our barracks.
Ew.
List of later reporting names for fighter aircraft.
Fish bed.
That's funny. Okay, it's Gordost. Gordost. That means pride in Russian. Her name.
And the personality?
Noble. I don't know.
So that
Gonna
one
be
never fails.
tragic when it crashes.
I know.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm gonna die a quiet, valiant death. Me and my kitten.
She's gonna be the one.
War kitten. All right. Lead craft. Tail number 001. Pilot Galia. Navigator Ulia. Nickname Tibrit. Personality quiet. Tail number 101. Pilot Yulia. Navigator Dasha. Nickname Gordost. Personality noble. Tail number 121. Pilot Vera. Navigator
Yeah.
Katya. Nickname Suka. Personality bitch.
All
Love
right.
Do we need to do our reserve?
191.
Zagnut.
Let's do it. I love it. Exaggeration.
It's an exaggeration.
Personality.
It's warm. The heat is extra warm in there.
The heater
It's literally
really works in that motherfucker.
It will blow your ass.
It's like a Volkswagen. 3rd-degree burns on your feet, frostbite on your face.
Yes.
The fate chips, because you guys have a mission pool. Oh, there we are.
Oh, the Russian ones.
Yep, that's exactly. We will do your guys' first training mission now. Normally, you guys will have a mission pool to draw from, but your first mission, you don't get that. Your mission pool you usually build up by doing things during the day. Since you guys haven't been able to be here long enough to be able to get extra resources or whatever, extra work done on your plane, you guys don't have a mission pool for this training mission. Okay. So, Lazy, normally when we do these, you don't have to do them in order.
Mhm.
But because this is the training one, they are kind of in from top to bottom. A,
Is
B,
there a
C.
W in special?
Because they
Special
spelled
rules.
something wrong. It's Russian, that's why. God damn it.
rules.
All right, so
Accelerated training.
It could be leave.
Half the missions of a combat stage.
the way this will normally work is that your section leader, which is you for right now, will decide which mission you guys will do. You'll deliver the mission briefing, and then you'll assign planes and roles and whatnot.
Flights out of Ingalls and the auxiliary field at Tambov happen nightly in cold weather, through rain and snow. The pace of instruction is relentless. 3 years of training are compressed into 4 months. Hanging over everyone's head are qualification flights for piloting and navigation, as well as the specter of the final exam, an actual combat mission over German positions. Theater overview. The region around Saratov is dominated by the mighty Volga River, which is its most prominent aid to navigation. Beyond the valley of the Volga, gently rolling hills and steppe are the primary landform, with empty fields that await spring and cultivation. The auxiliary field at Tambov is in more densely forested country, with fewer landmarks. Training is taking place during the wettest season in this otherwise dry region. The furthest German advance places their forward units southwest of Voronezh, with most training flights very unlikely to encounter enemy troop concentrations or reconnaissance. Special rules. Accelerated training means half the missions of a combat duty station. Everyone must make at least one successful wayfind and attack run move while in training to qualify for combat. A daylight mock bombing on a target range outside Bogoslavka. You'll enjoy aggressive fighter-bomber escort from the all-male 217th Assault Aviation Regiment under Captain D.P. Galanov. Wayfinding rules are optional. Potential enemy fire is actually friendly. Is it the DP? Is that what it is?
I was good until Terry started laughing, and then I lost it.
I'm glad
Those
somebody
aren't
else
his
laughed before
initials.
me.
It's his nickname.
Oh, that's even worse.
Captain DP. Wayfinding rules are optional. Potential enemy fire is actually friendly fire from the 217th Tupolev SBs or nervous Soviet anti-aircraft air crews. Anyone participating advances and must choose deepening ties.
Right.
Okay, there we go.
So while these are still training missions, there's still potential for you guys to fail. And then that fail will create trouble and drama for you guys.
Because if we screw up a plane, then that's one less plane we have to actually work with.
Correct. Or if you fuck up bad enough, then you may not advance. And they may be like, you need to go home. That's the best place you would help this war effort is if you were at home. At home is where you will fight this war from. That's how bad you are.
Dang.
So the way it works normally is that you will, you're going to assign someone, will make the attack run, and then the other planes will sort of help them. That's what that Vedomaya is the word. They are the ones that sort of help, and mechanically they take consequences and do things to help the bombing
Like
run.
dropping a bomb on a spotlight that's found your comrade.
So you will assign the lead plane basically, who is going to make the bombing run.
I already did. The lead aircraft is Galia.
Okay, very good.
That's right.
So she will. Are you navigating or are you piloting?
I'm piloting.
Okay, very good. Then who is going to do the wayfinding, the navigating to get there
For her aircraft?
The navigator.
for the group of you guys?
Oh.
The NPCs are never going to make rules because
Right.
in Apocalypse World,
We're going to
the
do
game
navigating.
the GM never rolls.
Gotcha. Oh,
So-
really? Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, you failing is what makes the bad guys do things to you.
Oh, that's kind of
If
cool.
that makes sense. So I don't know if you never noticed, but in Blades in the Dark, I never rolled dice.
Oh, I guess I didn't.
Yeah. No, that's just not what I do. So when you guys fail, I do things to you. As opposed to me rolling dice to succeed for the bad guys. If you fuck up, that means the bad guys succeeded. So
That's kind of cool.
yeah. Makes it a lot easier for me because I don't have to worry about dice and managing and all that kind of stuff. So, okay. You guys have chosen a target. You have given the mission briefing and the operational planning. This is the part where I'm going to stumble through some rules here. You guys will arrive on your flight line. Yulia will deliver your guys' mission briefing, which is a mock bombing during the daytime, escorted by the male 277th Assault Aviation Regiment. So you guys will have an air escort there, but it's all training mission basically. So, and then you guys are supposed to anticipate anti-aircraft batteries, but they're friendly. So hopefully they won't actually shoot you guys down for whatever that's worth. Hopefully you don't the guy that's supposed to be fighting the war at home is shooting the guns and being like, I think they might be real Germans. Dasha. Now, normally, whenever, just so you guys know, and I'll remind you when it comes up, if there is a mission pool, which would be a stack of chips in the middle, these would each be worth +1, and they can be used before or after any roll made for the mission. Okay. The way Apocalypse World works is you're going to roll 2d6 for everything. You'll add whatever the modifier is that you have from guts, medals, or whatever. 1 to 6 is a failure. 7 to 9 is succeed with a cost, and 10+ is just a complete success. Okay. If that makes sense. Go ahead and make a wayfinding, which is, so roll plus skill.
So,
Do you have anything in your skill box?
yeah, +2.
Yeah. So if you look on your move sheet under night, there's a thing called wayfind, okay? On a 10+, it says you find it and line up a textbook approach, but you see how it says on 7 through 9, you get to pick one of those 3 consequences. So to kind of
daylight, you find it.
right, but you're at dusk.
Oh.
You're flying out at dusk,
oh,
so
yeah,
it
that's
still
right, okay.
requires a roll. So you succeed, and you line up the most ideal approach to this bombing site. So the area you guys are bombing is, we'll say it's like set up like a an infantry regiment area, and you guys are there to drop flak bombs, like shrapnel bombs, to hopefully cause casualties, but just to cause general mayhem so that life is hard. You line up an ideal approach. You see the target ahead as you fly forward, and the target is laid out before you.
And that's me. I'm making that attack? Okay.
And so you'll make an attack run, which is you're going to roll plus guts.
Okay.
What?
Oh,
That's
bad.
This is Suka.
so this is an attack run?
Yes.
Oh, I got 5.
A 5? All right.
You can take points from the mission pool.
There is no mission pool for the first one.
Yeah, I thought this was.
No, I set them out there so you could see them, but
you're
that's
tease.
that's part. Yeah, you're right. But that's part of what making this hard is that the first mission is harder because it is there is no mission pool. So normally you'll be able to pull from that to make it a success. So on a 5, I get to make a hard move. What goes wrong? Okay, so right now you are going to totally fuck this up. Essentially, is the way it works. Now, if you want to, you can choose to tempt fate, and which would be a roll plus guts. And now, just so you hear how it works, on a 10 plus you do it. On a 7 through 9 you do it, but not without cost. The GM can make a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. And on a miss, you take harm as established and are marked in addition to failing.
Oh, great. Oh,
So
okay.
now if you don't want to tempt fate right now, you can just say, I failed at making this bombing run and I will return back to base and I fucked up. And I'll face the consequences because you succeed or
clearly
fail.
You have to tempt fate.
As a
this
section
is our
leader.
qualifying mission. The entire men's regiment is watching. Our success as humans and citizens of Russia depends on your success.
I say tempt fate too.
Very good. So if you're going to tempt fate, you're going to roll plus guts.
Oh god, I don't have any guts. I got an 8.
8 is succeed with a cost.
Woo!
So
That's better.
failing.
7 through 9, you do it, but not without a cost. The GM can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. Let's see. You mentioned before about how you wanted to join the fighter regiment before, but you're sort of here at this night bomber. You know, what your
Yeah.
first choice? I mean, you're happy to be here, right?
Yeah.
But it's not your first choice. Dasha lines up this perfect approach for you, right? And as you're guiding your plane in, and you're coming in, and you're lining things up, and you're sort of I'm envisioning you looking at these other fighter planes that are there because they're fighters, not bombers, right? And they're your escort there. And as you come in, you're sort of distracted momentarily, and the moment sort of passes when you would have been the most ideal point to drop, your payload to bomb them. So what I'm thinking is you drop things late, you still succeed, and it hits the target not in the most ideal way, right? But all, like Lacey said, the male regiment is here, and they see this, and they see you not, hesitate to not drop your payload when you're supposed to, and you can hear them in the back of your head as you're flying over and you pull the lever to drop the bombs late. You can hear all these male pilots and these senior pilots just being like,
just like a woman to be late.
exactly. Like you hear that in like the collective sigh of all the male escort pilots as they're like, oh God.
Figures.
Yeah, exactly. One of those moments. So, I mean, right now it doesn't cause you any problems, but you know when you go back there will be.
I'm gonna get a shit nickname.
Right on. So, you dropped the payload. You didn't trigger any enemy fire or anything like that, so it goes pretty much off without a hitch. The wayfinding roll was successful, so there's no consequences from that. You guys roll right in there. You guys fly back. There's no enemy fire. There's no need to make a wheels down roll. You guys land back at your base. And you guys see Senior Lieutenant... What?
I just landed my plane.
Didn't crash.
Success!
That was amazing!
So you guys land your planes, come back, and you see Senior Lieutenant Petrova at the flight line as you land. And, and the plane slows down and then, on down. Yeah. And you see her standing at the edge of the flight line.
Looking highly unimpressed.
Yeah, she doesn't look like crazy upset, but as you're kind of like, taxiing the plane over the hangar, you're like, and you see her arms crossed standing there. And in your, for lack of a better word, rear view mirror, you see her walking towards the hangar as you taxi your planes in there. Thanks for listening. This has been an episode of Just One More Fix. Music has been provided by Kevin MacLeod. You can find him at incompetech.com. You can support us at patreon.com/JustOneMoreFix or follow us on Twitter at JustOneMoreFix.